Welcome to the Knowledgebase Ninjas podcast, where Gauri Ramkumar of Document 360 finds the best SaaS self-service knowledge bases in the world and then interviews their creators. Let's get started with today's episode.
Welcome to the Knowledgebase Ninjas podcast. I'm Gauri Ramkumar, your host, and today we have a bonus episode for all our active listeners. In this bonus episode, we handpicked a few of our past episodes and are revisiting some of the insights that are now more relevant than ever. So, get ready to dig deep into the archives and uncover the hidden gems of our podcast journey. Recently, on our podcast, we had a conversation with Brianne Bennett, lead technical writer at Opensee. And we couldn't help but wonder about the current trend in the technical writing space she discussed, UX writing.
I think the next big trend that we'll see is technical writers and UX writing being really integrated with each other. I think we're going to see more and more documentation fully integrated in software products so that clients aren't leaving the product in order to get the documentation. I'm doing my best to implement that here. It's been going great so far. I really appreciate UX writing. I think it makes, if you have better UX writing, you have less documentation to write because it's more obvious, it's more helpful. Yeah. And so I think that's the big, I think that'll be the next big step and more context sensitive help.
Let's go further deep into UX writing now. When discussing UX writing, the first and foremost thing we need to understand is the involvement of the UX team in the documentation process. Vivek Pattnaik, technical writer, Microsoft IDC, here explains the role of UX team.
So we are involved right from day zero. You can say from the commit meetings, we are aware what is happening. So we give them ideas on what the UX design has to be like. If the product changes, how the UX behaves and how the customer is receiving. So how we should draft the content, and not just put a lot of technical jargon directly, assuming it's a technical audience and so on and so forth. So we are involved from day zero, you can say, not even day one, day zero. Yeah.
In one of our earlier episodes on the podcast, we had a chance to speak to David Corners, UX technical writer who previously worked with Squid. He talks about effective communication between UX and customer support while drafting comprehensive documentation.
Yeah, we actually have a really good relationship with our customer support. We actually have check-ins with them every week to see if we're missing anything in our documentation. And a lot of times we are, working with them to double check to make sure things are covered correctly. And they're sending out, our docs to help, clients or customers who need, answers. They're using our docs for themselves because Squid is a pretty big product and you can do a lot of really cool things with it. So they're using our docs. And we're also seeing analytics too of just, how much our docs are being consumed. And a lot of that, some of that is just through, customer support, being our evangelists. Our customer support team is really smart. So that we get a lot of really good customer feedback from them too.
Now that we understand the pivotal role of communication, how can we leverage it to foster collaboration with our teams to create a good user experience? Naomi Papusadu, UX writer, who was previously with Gong, explains how we could achieve that. Let's hear it from Naomi then.
UX is very important. We have more or less a team that is supporting currently 2 product managers to 1.5 UX people, and we need more. It's a very integrated process. Everyone is all hands-on. We have daily meetings with the dev teams as well. So everybody is always in the know about what's going on, where the feature is, what it needs, what areas need to be looked at and done. So the UX part is important to the product managers, and it's important for them that everybody has a say, the UX team and their UI designers, and also me from a writing perspective.
Moving towards the end of this bonus episode, Hannah Khan, technical writer 𝐊𝐤𝐤, shares a simple tip for those getting started at UX writing.
I would encourage people to take a look at UX writing guidelines and courses as well, because it's a little different, but at the end we just want to help our users and communicate our products and platforms, etc. So yeah, it's really interesting how it can help.
All right, that's all for now. I hope this condensed piece was insightful. If you have enjoyed it, kindly share it within your network and community. We will be back soon with another season with much more exciting content. Until then, goodbye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Knowledge-Based Ninjas podcast. Please head to iTunes, rate, and provide honest feedback on the podcast. See you next week.